so. Yeah.
Well, isn't that the what you just described? Isn't that the definition of fascism? Because
Yeah.
you just said about how corporations uh, pushes the policy and the government uh, uses the military to enforce the policy. That's
Hmm.
fascism.
Yes, it is.
Um, so we can get out of this notion that America is a democracy, and we can get out of this notion that your the elections really count. Because someone told me, a few people told me that it doesn't matter who is in office. As a matter of fact, Vladimir Putin once said when he was being interviewed, and they were asking him about that, he said, um, U.S. presidents have little power. He said as soon as they get elected, men in black suits come and tell them what to do. And
Yeah,
so,
he's probably right there.
so, so he was saying that that regardless to which side the coin flips, it's still the same coin, and it's going to keep pushing the same policy regardless.
Mm,
Um, and that's what we're looking at today. So, with that said, and we are talking about the domestic, because there's a domestic crisis across America with
mhm.
the wealth divide, the race divide, the harsh policies on the middle class and the poor people, um, and the double standards also, because you get a person getting 50 years to a life for stealing a loaf of bread that they may want to eat, and then you have corporations stealing trillions of dollars, and then they get bonuses. So
Yeah.
with that happening domestically, how can the republic survive? Because you cannot survive in a corrupt, inept society that's run by thieves.
Yeah, right, you're absolutely right. And I think so far what they've been able to do is propagandize us to an extent that, I mean, most people now will tell you, well, if we had only elected Bernie Sanders. Okay, well, you know, I mean, old Bernie would not have been able to do much of anything either.
Right.
You know, um, but you've got to people got to be informed, and part of the way they keep this power is they don't let people get informed. That's why you just had, let me get these back here. You just had all these people taken off of Twitter and Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube as well, because you know and not because they were run by the Chinese or the Iranians or any of that crap. It was because they are telling the truth often about what's going on in the world. And yeah, I think the COVID thing has also given people an excuse to pull these people off, because if somebody doesn't believe, in all the what we're told about COVID, and they bring up some alternative idea, oh yeah, we got to get rid of them. It's bad for public health and all that. But yeah, that kind of censorship, even though it's not being done directly by the government. I mean, it's done at government direction. I can tell you that much, because they're somebody's telling them who to take off the air and who to leave on. Um, but that censorship is part of the fascism too, and the reason fascism is really a great way to keep people in line. When the government isn't doing for them what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think we're stumbling toward an economic collapse. Is what I think. And we're going to have an. I've always said we have either an economic collapse, environmental collapse, or nuclear war. And that'd be the only way the empire ends. But I think the economic collapse is the more likely, because we've got so many millions of people here who are living very precarious lives financially. And now
Mm-hmm.
we have businesses being closed forever, in many cases, small businesses that are just gone. Big businesses have cut way back on employees, and everybody's trying to be an Uber driver or something. But we can't continue like that. And I think part of this um, agitation that we're seeing right now over this election, it really stems out of that. I mean, that people don't feel secure
Mm-hmm.
in the United States. And I don't mean secure in that the Russians are going to bomb us. I mean secure in that, you know, you'll be able to pay the rent at the end of the month. You know, you're going to be able to feed your family all the way through. You're not going to have, homeless people camped on your doorstep. I mean, we aren't secure in that way. Um, and till we turn around and make ourselves economically secure, we can never be secure through the military. That's just a drain.